Wanted to thank you for joining me today. This is the first video I've made in a long time. I just wanted to talk to many of you folks out there who've been asking me a little bit more about all the different types of annuities that exist. And I know this is a challenging time in the stock market, a challenging time in our economy in general, and that many of you were interested in the different types. So there'll be a link below to my website, my contact information, my email, and if you wanted this in written form or something of that nature, reach out to me, or if you just have any general financial planning questions. So, as you'll see in the link below, my name is Jordan Breslow. I'm a financial advisor. Let's dive right into the 5 types of annuities. So, basically, there are 5 simple types of annuities: fixed, immediate, deferred, fixed indexed, and variable. So I like 4 of them. I like the first 4. Not a big fan of variable annuities, but we'll get into that later. Fixed annuities are very simple. It's much like a CD you get down at the bank, a bond. It has a term anywhere from 1 to, I've seen 10 years is the longest, and a fixed interest rate that you're going to get, not linked to the stock market for that time. How it's different from a CD or a bond is it's not a debt instrument. So basically, all annuities are savings contracts between you and the insurance company. Now, a bond or a CD is technically a debt instrument. It's the bank or a company or a government is trying to raise capital. So that's what the difference is there. It's not FDIC insured like a CD, but bonds, of course, are not FDIC insured. They're backed by the full faith and credit of whoever's issuing them. The United States government, General Electric, whoever you're buying your corporate bonds from. The FDIC is not fully funded, so I mean I don't take a great deal of stock personally in the FDIC. Additionally, if you're dealing with an A-rated insurance company that's been around for 100, 150 years, I don't think financial security is something we have to be tremendously concerned about. An advantage compared to a CD or a bond is it has a 10 or 15%, it depends, withdrawal rate each year. So you can pull out interest, you can pull out principal, you have a great deal of liquidity. Whereas with a bond or a CD, it's generally locked up. And if there's a penalty for early withdrawals. Same thing goes for death. If you die and you're the holder of a fixed annuity, that surrender period, sort of what the insurance company is saying, the amount of time you should be keeping the money with them is broken, and your heirs receive your money plus the interest. So that is important to understand in all annuities, in particularly in fixed annuities. You have what's called a surrender schedule. Basically, after that 10 or 15% withdrawal, there's a penalty for a greater withdrawal than that. That really shouldn't be a concern to you because all your money shouldn't be there. You should have liquidity. You should have money in savings accounts, pensions, Social Security. If you're younger, income from work. It really shouldn't concern you. All your money would not be in an annuity. No decent financial advisor would suggest that you put all of your eggs in one basket. So that's a fixed annuity. It's basically a great alternative to a CD or a bond. Right now they're paying a little bit higher than your CDs and your bonds at the bank. It's a great alternative to a CD or a bond. An immediate annuity, if we move into the second type, is a lot like a pension. So many of you might get Social Security or a pension. Basically, it's a stream of payments. And for the sake of argument, you're giving up all control. Let's say you had $100,000. So if you give $100,000 to ABC Insurance Company and they say, for as long as you live, we will write you a check annually for $8,000. That means that you lose control of the $100,000, but you get $8,000 in perpetuity. Well, basically until you pass. Now there are annuities with certain fixed periods, but we can get into immediate annuities with period certains into that on a one-on-one basis. Basically, there's death benefit options. There's cash refund. So cash refund is the most popular. It basically says if you got that $8,000 payout and you died 2 years in, they've given you 16. They're going to give your heirs 84,000. If you die after your principal has been exhausted, your heirs receive nothing. Basically, you can also get inflation protection on that $8,000. It can grow each year with inflation. It's all really up to how you design your annuity. The great thing about immediate annuities, and we'll talk about this with deferred annuities, is they're really longevity insurance. So it's for people that are mostly concerned about outliving their money. So I'm a big fan of them if that's a concern of yours, if you have a lot of longevity in your family, what have you. Basically, at some point, you end up in the insurance company's pocket. So using that 8% payout on $100,000 after 12 and a half years, you've exhausted your principal. That's where you personally would have run out of money, just pulling $8,000 out of a checking account. And that's where the insurance company comes in and continues to make those payments. So if you lived 100, 110, I'm sure there's some of you out there going to say, listen, I'm not going to live that long. I'm not concerned about it. That's not the appropriate annuity for you, but that is a great concern. So deferred annuity, as we move into our third type, is basically very similar to an immediate annuity, except you defer the immediate payments. And for each year you defer, you get a bonus. So maybe it's 8% day one, 9% year two, 10% year three. And basically, once again, that's longevity insurance. So if you feel that you're going to put the rest of your money in the stock market, or you're just going to put the rest of your money in bonds or things that are very, very stable, and you're worried about what happens if I live to be 100 or I live to be 95, well, by that time, the bonus has become so outrageous on the deferred income annuity that you could turn that on and have sufficient income. And if you die before the income is turned on, your principal is returned to your heirs, your wife, your children, an estate, trust, whatever you want it to be. And so that's a great option, I think, also for longevity insurance. And I suggest it for a lot of folks that are concerned about running out of money or living to a certain age. Generally, the big difference between a deferred and an immediate annuity is when do you want the income. And with a deferred annuity, you could put less money down because ultimately you're deferring the income. You might never draw income. You might die before that happens. It's essentially longevity insurance. Okay, now we're going to talk about my favorite type of annuity, fixed indexed. So we talked about fixed annuities. Fixed indexed annuities are where you have exposure to the market, but with downside protection. So each insurance company runs their fixed index annuity differently, but the basic principle is a great deal of upside of the market, not 100%. Maybe if the S&P 500 does 10%, you get 8%. You're not going to get full S&P growth, but no or low fees. And if the market tanks, if the market goes down 20%, zero, meaning you don't lose anything. Your floor is zero. So you can never lose money. A lot of people in 2008, 2009 did very, very well in fixed indexed annuities. Additionally, going kind of back to the immediate annuity world, they run a lot of times fixed index annuities for a very modest fee will have an income rider. So you can draw income, you can have exposure to the market, growth in the market, and no loss, no risk of loss, no market volatility. Unlike an independent, unlike an immediate annuity, you don't lose that capital. There's a surrender schedule, but in theory, there are times in which you could take your nest egg and get out. So it gives you flexibility, gives you access to the market, gives you access to income if that's what you want. There's long-term care riders. I'm not going to get too much into long-term care because we're going to do a separate video on that. But it's a tremendous vehicle because it's still rather conservative. I mean, if you want full market growth, you need to be in the S&P, you need to be in a mutual fund, you need to be in stocks and equities. But for people who are not so conservative that they want a fixed annuity, an immediate annuity, deferred annuity, basically sort of bond alternatives, people that really would like to, experience market growth, but don't necessarily have the risk tolerance to be fully in the market, I think this is a great solution. People retirement, it's a great solution. Additionally, fixed indexed annuities come with a lot of times what we call inheritance enhancement riders, where if you're not eligible for life insurance, or you're just not interested in buying life insurance, it can create bonuses on your death benefit in the annuity. So it's a tremendous, tremendous product. I absolutely suggest it for anyone that is looking to safeguard money in retirement. So the last annuity we'll get to is variable annuities, and I might spend more time on this one. I try to be concise here because ultimately either you're going to go on my website and you're going to request to have a meeting, or you're going to request, you give me a call and request this information in written form. So I don't want to necessarily elaborate too greatly. But variable annuities are the worst of both worlds. It has all that loss of money that comes with giving up control and a lot of fees. So basically, think of a variable annuity as a mutual fund with a wrapper around it. So you have all the fees of your mutual funds, and then there's an annuity wrapper which has another fee. All a variable annuity says is it's like a mutual fund, but we'll guarantee you what's called a protected value. So we'll guarantee you this column, there's account value, and there's what's called the protected value. And the protected value is the number that you're going to base your income on. So maybe 5% of whatever that number is. So that number never can go down. That number could, if the market goes up 20%, you put 100,000 in, it's 120. The market goes down the next year, they give you a modest bonus of 5%. Now it's 125,000. But your account value can go up, down, up, down. It's a roller coaster. And if you pass away, account value is your death benefit. So while that protected value that you draw income on might go up and up, up and up and up, you can never crack the glass and get that money. That's only what your income is based on. So you could pass away, the account value drops to zero, your heirs get nothing. The fees are astronomical, anywhere from 3, 4, 5%. I've seen 7% in some really very padded contracts. A lot of financial advisors love variable annuities. The commissions are great for them. And additionally, if they pack a lot of riders on them, they can make it look like it's going to do everything but cook you breakfast. Variable annuities are high-cost mutual funds with a very high-cost wrapper around them that's supposed to guarantee you a certain amount of income. Now, a lot of people illustrate variable annuities with the market going up and up and up and forever, and saying, well, who cares about your fee? Because the market's going to more than outpace that fee. And it's never going to go down to zero, because even though we're charging you 3% fees and you're pulling out 5% of your account value every year, it'll never go down to zero. Basically, for a variable annuity to never go down to zero, the market has to be on a bull run in perpetuity. And listen, in the last 10, 15 years, we've been very lucky. We've been in a bull run for a long time. But we are eventually going to hit a bear market. It just makes sense. What goes up must come down. So I'm not being a pessimist, but the people that run those illustrations showing it doing everything are a little foolhardy. And I'm very transparent with my clients, and I certainly wouldn't suggest a variable annuity for really anybody. It's an expensive product that offers you no guarantees. The reason you should be in an annuity, whether it's a fixed, an immediate, a deferred, a fixed index, is you're buying some great guarantees of income, guarantees of interest rates, guarantees of market exposure with no risk. Wonderful things that you need in retirement. And I know it might sound a little corny. I'm getting very passionate about it. But a variable annuity basically can solve income, but at a very, very high cost and with a lot of downside potential. But advisors love them. There was a time before fixed indexed annuities, and that was the only game in town. I'm going back into the 80s and the 90s. And I have had a lot of clients come to me and their parents have passed away, and they've had variable annuities, and there's a check for whatever's left in the account. So I'm not saying that everybody dies with no money in the variable annuity, but the old contracts were worded differently, and you're also talking about if that's the only game in town, which it was 30, 40 years ago, then sure, variable annuities make sense, but they really don't, in my opinion, in their present form, the way that they're set up. So basically, that pretty much concludes our video. Anyone is welcome to give me a call. But this has been a video about the 5 types of annuities. 4 of them I love. The 5th one I don't really. And look forward to our next video, which is on long-term care.